Coming out of the 2024 season, the awards and All-Australians given out are supposed to represent the best players in the competition. But how accurate are these type of accolades in deciding who the individual standouts were in the season? So to do some comparison, here are a handful of players whose player rating, a metric by Champion Data to determine how well a player has played, didn't line up with their awards or perceived performance in 2024. This is strictly based on where their player rating, which includes finals and other numbers, rank them in the entire competition and in their own position. Jason Horne-Francis had an explosive 2024 season. At his best, he was one of the most damaging forward half players. 5 times he had at least 20 disposals and 2 goals in a game. These types of performances saw him come equal 11th in the Brownlow with 19 votes and 12th in the AFL Coaches Association Award. He was named in the All-Australian squad for the first time and came second in Port Adelaide's Best and Fairest, narrowly being beaten out by Zach Butters. But his player rating wasn't nearly as flash. From the above accolades, Horne-Francis, you would think, should have finished in the top 20 or so players in the competition, while his 12.03 player rating had him ranked the 77th best player in 2024. To give some context, midfielders including James Worpel ranked 64th, Sam Durham ranked 60th, and even Carlton's George Hewitt, who was ranked 74th, sit above him. The main reason for the lower than expected rating would have to do with consistency. As great as Horne-Francis was throughout the year, he still had some quiet games with below 20 disposals, and he was a little turnover prone at times, having 9 games with 5 or more clangers. These types of things in the rating system are penalised, and would be a reason Horne-Francis finished the year as the 77th rated player in the AFL. Another surprise was with Jack Ginnivan. He averaged a career high 16.5 disposals per game, kicked 28 goals, and his impact at Hawthorn went well beyond the stats. His showmanship and energy did spark the Hawks during their second half of the season hot streak, and his highlight game of the season against Collingwood was epic. But believe it or not, Ginnivan finished 2024 as the 354th rated player in the competition. Port Adelaide's Jackson Mead was rated 20 spots higher, Fremantle's Jeremy Sharp and Sydney's James Jordan also finished 30 spots ahead of him. But we know medium forwards, which is what Ginnivan's position in the rating system is, do normally rank lower than midfielders and rucks, so where does he sit in that position group? Well, out of all the medium forwards, which do include small forwards, he was the 57th rated one. Delisted bomber Nick Hind ranked 47th, Jade Gresham ranked 37th, and Richmond's Ryan Mansell finished 22nd. So why did Ginnivan rank so low in the competition and in the medium forward ranks? His lowly 38.9% goal accuracy is a big reason. It was by far a career low, and all of his misses would count against him in this rating format. His 3.5 turnovers per game was also a career high mark, and although 16.5 disposals per game is a great number by itself, compared to his previous best year in 2022, his score involvements, loose ball gets, and contested possessions were only slightly higher, even though he was getting the ball 7 or 8 times more per game on average in 2024. Ginnivan still had a career year, and at 21, there is only upside for one of the game's biggest names. An All-Australian defender who had one of his better AFL seasons, rated just inside the top 200 players for 2024. Despite having a career-high disposal efficiency of 82% and gathering 30 disposals per game, Lachie Whitfield was the 181st rated player. Other defenders including Braden Maynard, Oliver Florent and Will Powell all had better player ratings. His 32nd spot as a medium defender is still okay, but doesn't really represent his All-Australian status, and his equal second place finish in the Giants' best and fairest. He is a similar pitcher to Jack Ginnivan. Whitfield got the ball more than ever, but his contested possessions per game went down, alongside his intercept possessions and intercept marks, which are important metrics for defenders. Offensively, his output slightly dropped as well. His score involvements went from 5.4 to 4.1 per game, his inside 50s dropped 0.4 per game, and his turnovers stayed roughly around 5 per game. Add all these little things up, and it's why his 2023, 2022, and 2021 years were rated higher than this one. With ball in hand, Whitfield was a touch more damaging in previous seasons. Jamarra Ugle-Hagen's 43 goals in 21 home and away season games saw him finish equal 11th in the Coleman Medal. It was a new career high total, and 2024 was another big step he took into becoming one of the best key forwards in the game. His stretch of matches from round 18 to 23 ended in a total haul of 18 goals and an average of exactly 3 per game. There is still plenty of improvement left, however. His 6.62 player rating sits him at the 426th ranking spot for all players in 2024. He was essentially in the bottom third of everyone who managed at least one game in the season. Out of the key forward group, he sits 35th, and has youngsters in Logan Morris, Cooper Sharman, Mitch Georgiades, and Logan McDonald ahead of him. So despite being one of the hottest key forwards during the year, and still kicking over 40 goals, how can Ugle-Hagen be rated a bottom third player of the year? Well, it's his disposal and goal kicking that is still hurting him. His disposal efficiency of 53% was a career low and had him second bottom for all qualified key forwards. For context, Jesse Hogan finished at 69.6%, Jeremy Cameron was at 67.1%, and Taylor Walker finished at 66.7%. In the entire AFL, only 3 players had more shots on goal per game than Ugle-Hagen: Joe Danaher, Charlie Curnow, and Jeremy Cameron. 4.7 shots at goal is unreal from a 22-year-old key forward, and that's the good side of things. The bad side is the conversion. His goal kicking accuracy for 2024 was 41.3%, which is actually an improvement on his 37.6% in 2023. Just like his overall disposal efficiency, he's still lagging behind the best forwards. Nick Larkey shot an unreal 67.6% in front of goal, Darcy Fogarty landed at 63.1%, and even his teammate and Aaron Norton, who has been a bit unstable at times in front of goal, went at an above average rate of 61.4%. The hard part is getting the shots, which Ugle-Hagen is doing, and the next part to catapult him into the elite tier is to convert more often than not.